Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to the weekly YouTube. This one, going to prepare you. Welcome to a very boring one. This is going to be everything that people miss when it comes to actually achieving a result. So before you think about meal plans, deficits, even if you're already going to the gym and you want to kind of step it up, make sure you've ticked off this list. Otherwise, you're not going to see a result. You're going to, some point down the line, you're going to realize, okay, I should have ticked off these boxes first. This is what we do with our clients to achieve the level of results that we do on a weekly basis with people and make sure that everyone is constantly progressing. Without it, it just wouldn't happen. So this is the system that we've just started using, just to, whether on like a first initial consultation call with someone, or whether this is kind of deeper down the line and someone falls off the wagon. You know, no matter what systems you have in place, you are still human. There's still going to be issues, but it just kind of puts all the chips in your favour, which is going to make sure, okay, if I follow this first before I worry about all the technical stuff, am I more likely to achieve a result? The answer is always going to be yes. We also have, like, this is like the first 30-day sprint to make sure that someone gets onboarded correctly, they hit momentum and motivation, and they're ready to make a change. And obviously after this, once we get to this point, if it's all done smoothly, which it will be if people take action on it, then we can get into more like sciencey flow chart, which basically just kind of then goes into more detail of, you know, the carbs and all that kind of rubbish that I'll talk through in a second. So, as I say, it is you could consider a boring one. You might look at this chart and think, you know what, I should probably listen to this, or you might look at this chart and think, fuck off, mate. Either one, fair enough. Don't blame you. So, to get straight into it, we've got these three pillars, and we need to tick off them pretty much in order. So, 30-day sprint, onboarding, getting into momentum, motivation, ready to change. In that order, really. Getting ready, momentum, and ready to change, and then changing. So, to get into, I'm going to run through how we do it, and then I'll also talk you through how you can do it without me in your corner, and obviously you also now will know what it looks like to have me in your corner in those first 30 days. So, the initial consultation on a call. So, this is where we sit there and we assess the goals, lifestyle, and we get your onboarding forms done on the app. For you, this could be sitting there and assessing your goals, your lifestyle, and where you're actually at the moment. Then we need to get into the position where the mindset standards and the adherence standards. Mindset meaning what we expect. So how long is it going to take us to change? So with every client, we'll actually sit there, look at the body and everything, and sit there and say, right, this is where you're at the moment, this is where you want to be. You've not been doing anything for 4 years, so don't expect to change in a week, because we need to get the mindset and adherence standards based on the fact that you've done nothing towards your goal, for example, ever in your life. It's going to take quite a while to get you to adhere to checking in every day and every week and communicating and sending in training clips across the week to make sure you're doing it correctly. So we're going to have to give it that time. And these first 30 days, okay, maybe you won't see those results in 30 days because we've got a lot to fix on the back end in terms of like your just your stress levels, and your body isn't going to change because you're so stressed of work and you're constantly, you know, boiling in your head because you've got this going on, and we need to fix those things and lean into this process and support each other to get there. So adherence standards, as I say, also in order to get into momentum, we need to be hitting standards of what actually needs to be done to progress. So in a case of working with me, that means you're filling out your daily check-in forms, which is your scales, your hunger levels, because this is the information that we simply need to get your result. It takes 30 seconds at the end of the day. So for you, start tracking some daily data. Get your scales in every morning. Get an average across the week. Every now and again, you're going to forget. It's normal. You know, I do it as well. But just make sure you jump on them scales a couple of times a week, daily if you can. There's always going to be fluctuations with salt, sleep, water intake. Something's always going to make that change, so you've got to be a bit careful there. Then you've got the weekly check-ins in terms of, this is where we have a full breakdown of the week. So we take weekly images, check-in clips, and we have a little sit down and talk about, okay, what's gone well, what's gone wrong, mentally how are we feeling, what do we want to do next week, and how are we going to go about hitting the roadmap. Because obviously, as well as this, we'll have an individual chart for everyone to their exact result in the background, which is like where they're at the moment, every change we need to make in detail, and what happens if we go off the wagon, what do we do from there. So in the check-in cases, we can be absolutely shit hot and spot on like, right, this is where we're at the moment, this is where we need to do, this is what we need to change, this is how many carbs we need to pull out, which it comes down over here. As you can see, this gets a bit more specific, or, you know, carbs that we need to increase to keep gaining muscle mass. But in your case, this could be a case of, as I say, looking at its weekly images and just making sure we're happy with how things are going. We also get training clips in per week as well. Standard for clients to get 1 to 2 in per week, as much as they can, because no matter how long you've been training for, you can always improve. And just filming your little sessions, just knowing that someone is going to see it, it's going to make you push a lot harder. Okay, so communication as well. And if we're working with me, it means just don't ghost. If you don't want to do it anymore, you don't want to do it anymore. But if you do and you want to achieve a result, then do it. You know, don't just try to figure out yourself. Don't go have a takeaway and think, oh, I'm just going to forget about it. It didn't happen. Whatever. Just communicate. This is it's not a dictatorship where it's like, do this, do this, do this. Cool. Give me your result. Piss off. It's like, Let's work together to change your life, and let me mentor you through your life around fitness, and I guarantee things will happen. Then going into mindset. So in order to get you into momentum as well, we need to manage expectations of results, as I just said. So we need to know what is going to happen. So we're not questioning why we're not shredded in 2 weeks. So for us now, we're quite good with the coaching now in terms of the setup. So we've got work through the starting webinars on our app. So you go into more content library, you go into there, and you've got like a whole setup of like, right, expectations. Everyone must watch this first. And then obviously you've got your how to weigh in every day, how to do your check-in images and all that kind of stuff. But we've got sections on like what to expect, like how are you actually going to be feeling, how we're going to get a result. And those videos aren't obviously going to change everything within a day, but it just plants a seed in your mind of like, okay, you've heard that point. So when something does come up, it's not a case of I have to teach you everything. You can always lean into yourself, like, right, let's look back at the expectations. Was this something that I was going to expect? Like, was I going to expect at week 4 to maybe not be where I want to be, not be seeing the results I want to see? In the expectations, how was I meant to go about that? And if it's not mentioned, that's on me, you know. So there's all those things we'll always cover. Like, there's going to be a point where you're not motivated. There's going to be a point where you're scared. There's going to be a point where like you can't be bothered. There's going to be a point where you miss check-ins and you don't know what to do, or you don't want to check in because you're embarrassed about the week. And those are all things that we manage. Start an overview, so every client will get an individual video, which is breaking down the whole process of what's going on, and then just make sure that like you're clarified. I think going into the level in the first 30 days and making sure you're going to really push on, whether that's going into a cut, a bulk, you're just starting fresh, or you just take it up a notch in your fitness. You've got to know, my whole brand is just giving people clarity. That is all I focus on. That is my message. That is what I stand for. It is making sure you are not going to a gym and questioning what you're doing and why. You are not walking in and feeling like, I just don't really have a goal at the moment. I'm just kind of ticking over the training, because I've been there. You just don't progress. I want to be moving people at a rate of progress which they can be proud of, and actually every week be looking back and thinking, right, this is the plan, now we go. This is the plan, now we go. Every time we're in the gym, this is the plan, we need to move forward, because you're just not going to learn anything otherwise. Like, you're just ticking over. Don't get me wrong, I love the gym, and I do love ticking over sometimes in a way of just like getting in there, have a good workout, like I look good, is what it is. But you're not always going to look good, and you're also like, I just think no matter how much you're into the gym, there's just only so long you can really love it and enjoy it if you're not progressing. I think the more you're kind of just in there like doing whatever you want to do, it's just the more likely you're going to get to the point where you're a bit like, you know, like, what's the point? Like, I'm just in here every week, I'm lifting, not really getting much stronger. Like, I couldn't really tell you what my plan is. I just go home and eat whatever I want. Like, this is the people I work with. It's people like that who are in the gym, but they're just winging it. And they might already be in decent shape, or they might not be in any shape, but they might have been in the gym for years. And that stubbornness of being in the gym for years stops me for so long for actually reaching out for help. You know, thinking, I've been in the gym for years. Everyone knows me for going to the gym. I'm already quite strong. So you must feel embarrassed to invest in your journey. And I completely get that. And I still get that now. But I'm investing in my journey. I have a coach. I would even say to myself that I'm the best person. I know I'm the best person to work with guys who are winging it and want to take it up a level. I can tell myself, and I know myself, that I am the best at that job. I can tell myself that, but I still invest in someone, because it's just, you need, as a guy as well, like, you need that support and you need them calls. And for me, I was looking at what I do with my clients, and I said I'd be so far ahead in every area of life if I had someone doing what I do for my clients. And then obviously I go for a coach and I don't expect anything less from them. With my clients, it's replying to a message as soon as possible. I don't have set times people can't message me, because what are you paying for then? Like, you can't message me on a Saturday. It's like, fucking hell, mate. Just pull your phone out and answer the message. That's how I see things. I always have a call booked in a diary of all my clients. It's like I just feel like if every client knows when we're next catching up, anything that goes wrong, they don't see the negative. They think, okay, I need to make sure I bring this into my call and assess why that happened. And we can also just catch up and get to know each other more. And every call, I'm making sure, right, nutrition, training, happy? Do you understand what we're doing it? Do you understand why we're doing it? Do you understand where it's going to get us? Do you feel like it's getting you there? Cool, we're good. How's your football team getting on? Do you know what I mean? That's just how I run things, and that's just how it's always worked, and I'm never going to change that. So this is why mindset and adherence is so important, okay? Moving on to momentum and motivation. It's going to cover 2 things. So 1 is results, and 2 is lifestyle changes. So starting with lifestyle changes, if you're just feeling stronger day to day, in work, around the house, the feeling of eating cleaner, the skin, the energy, the fullness is getting better. Comments from others that like, oh, I can see you working hard, or I can see you changing already, that you're looking fuller, you're looking better, you're looking leaner. Those are all things which are going to give you that initial buy-in in 30 days of whether it's working with me and it's like, right, I need to continue this, or whether it's going down the route on your own and it's saying like, right, okay, I can actually do this. And even when you see these first 30 days, you pair this up with your adherence is spot on, your mindset's in a good place, you know what to expect, you know what's coming, you're not waiting for a holiday to throw you off the wagon, but you know where things are at, we've planned it all out, you start seeing results, you start seeing lifestyle changes, and you understand the knowledge of how we're going to continue to progress. How can you actually fail? Like, You really can't. And the only way of failing is taking a step back. You're always going to come back to it because you see what you can achieve. But results, mentally, you just start to tick some boxes. So there's not going to be a result if you see abs in 30 days. For some people, yeah, of course. I know if I cut now, I'd be really lean. Not everyone's going to be in that scenario. So mentally, you just tick some boxes. You just have to build that trust with yourself. Like, oh my God, I can actually do it. Like, I've been winging it for years. I can actually take this up another level, and I can actually find the time to train harder, and I can find the time to meal prep, and I can eat chicken and rice, and I can say no to the odd social. I can do these things without crying. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, physically, you see the initial progress in the mirror, and then your strength, your lifts start to go up. If your lift starts to go up in 30 days, you feel you're mentally and just in a committed position with it all, you're gonna struggle to fall off. And the scales, you just start to move in the direction you want to move them in. These two are pretty simple. Like, bring a client in, get them in the mindset position, get them to watch your videos, answer any questions, get her onboarding video, understand it all, ready to get going Monday. Cool, spot on. Adherence from now on, mate. Do your best to check in daily, check in on a Sunday, communicate with me, send in 2 training clips. Started doing that 4 weeks in a row. We've doing that 4 weeks in a row. You're going to start to see some results. You're going to start to see some lifestyle changes. And now, how do we actually see the physical results in that time? Okay, so first of all, if the mindset and adherence standards, going back to the top, were not hit by you, we simply will not hit them. I don't care whether 30, 40, 50 days in, go back to the start, on board, getting into momentum, motivation, and ready to make a change. These 2 pillars. Why did this happen? Manage it. Book more calls to get to set more goals and touch base on a more consistent basis. So despite messaging my clients pretty much every day, I'll also do this where if a client doesn't kind of hit this 30-day period, then what I'm basically going to do is get on more calls with them. To basically sit there and say, look, I'm going to be so honest with you, mate. If I was to get a message from you in a couple of weeks saying, oh, mate, do you know what? I've given this a go. I don't have the time to get results. I'll come back to it in a few months. I mean, mate, seriously, you'd disappoint yourself there. Like, and I think another good point about that as well is, like, what I try and do is really focus on the psychology of, this is why I work with people who are in the same position I was in a couple of years ago, because if I'm working with guys who have got like eating disorders, it's like I've never had an eating disorder, so just because I'm in shape, it doesn't mean I magically can coach everyone. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel like I can, and I know I can, but it's also like, I don't want to do a disservice to people in a way where it's like, you don't understand how they're going to be feeling, and you're almost like, no, mate, trust me, just keep eating this deficit. But it's like, you've never been in their shoes where a deficit just does not happen. Like, there has to be different ways of going about it. What's their previous kind of attempts with things? You're always going to get people slip through the cracks who are maybe a bit different to you, but you come in and smash it, and a lot of my clients are like that, to be fair. But, you know, I work with a lot of guys who've had previous coaches, hasn't really gone well, they haven't really had that support, so they come in with me, and the fact I'm even actually replying to their message to them is like, mate, I'm in. Do you know what I mean? So it's really different for everyone. I've actually got I'm not going into too much detail actually, but I've got a few conversations coming up with a few other people I've been talking about who they just say, mate, I've been with so many like influencery coaches who just let me down, and they say, like, what's the difference of you? Like, why should I trust you? And it's like, well, you don't have to. That's the honest truth. You don't have to trust me. But if you want to go on my page, have a look through any results, what I stand for, who I am as a person, then and you trust me, then great. If you don't, you don't. Like, I don't want to build a relationship based off the back of like why you should trust me. Like, I'll show you why you can trust me, and that's that. And one of those ways is when it comes to clients is predicting how they're going to feel earlier, having that conversation with them, and then being like, you literally know me more than I know myself. That honestly is the best message I get from a lot of clients, is that you literally know me more than I know myself. It's like, yeah, so probably be a good idea to keep working with me then, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I sit there and I call people and they'll be like, yeah, mate, I just haven't really got in the flow of checking in. And I just say to them, like, mate, if you message me in a couple of weeks and say, I don't have time for this anymore, I don't want to do it, as I say, I'll be disappointed in you, because you came into a call with a why and you started investing in your fitness journey for a reason. You trusted me for a reason. I didn't sell anything to you. I'm not a salesman. I didn't drag you on a call for the sake of getting you on a call. It was like, we had a conversation, you inquired, or it was a case of I offered you a call because, like, I don't want to leave you in the dirt. We went over our prices and you said, let's do it. The amount of clients I have who will sit there and say, mate, you don't charge enough, or have a call with someone and they'll say, mate, is that all you charge? Let's get to it. Someone's charged me double before, and I'm not saying I charge 50 quid a month, because I don't. I charge, you know, a bit more than that, but it's like, at the same time, it's perspective of where do you want to be. So if a client comes up to me and they're saying that's cheap, and then 2 weeks later they don't want to pay anything, it's like, well, something's gone wrong here, and this is what this system is trying to crack down on. So we have them calls, touch base on a bit more, and make sure we're covering those things that I just spoke about there. But then if you did hit adherence and mindset standards, which 9 out of 10 times you're going to, Then we got communication. So how we're going to get the results? We're checking in, we're doing our daily check-ins, and we're spot on. We're in that flow state. Okay, so we're excited to train. We feel like we're actually no longer winging it. We're buzzing for our check-ins. We want to show off our progress and our feedback to move forward. Our calls, we're just building relationships. I don't need to give you many more kicks up the ass unless it comes up to it, but we're good. Training plan, we understand and we're happy with tracking our lifts. Okay, so form, we're improving it every week. We're feeling our muscle more than ever. We're tracking our lifts, and we've got clear clarity and conviction in our result. And we just go with that every day, okay? Meal plan is sorted, okay? So starting at maintenance, whole single ingredient foods, hitting protein target. Doesn't mean you have to be in a perfect deficit already, but we've just got the basic standards. We know how to use MyFitnessPal if needed. We know how to manage a social. And then basically when we go from nutrition, we can start to move into the scales and the actual body and how things are going to be changing. So we're understanding if the scales have gone in the right direction yet, or maybe if they haven't, okay? So first of all, what's the plan from there? If the scales are going up, going down, staying the same, somewhere we don't want them to be, let's understand why that is. Let's refer back to mindset standards. And then what we can do from there is we go back to mindset standards, we remind ourselves, we understand and manage the issue more. So if it's more food, less food, or if it's stress, inaccurate tracking, crack down on that within a day, okay? But then we also go make the changes we need. So I can sit there and say, yep, your scale's gone up a little bit. We've had our first couple of weeks, you're in a good routine. I trust that you understand the mindset, adherence standards. You're in a good flow of training. But we need to lower your calories because you're not going to lose weight on these calories. We need to increase your calories. You're not going to gain weight. Simple. It's all about making changes. It's coaching. It's not meal plan, so there's going to be changes. But if all that's perfect, we're starting to see a bit of a rate of loss. We're happy. We're going down. We're staying the same. Let's start to get an idea of the rate of loss or gain depending on the goal. Daily scales are now starting to show a bit more of a trend. So first couple of weeks you can really expect on your scales to be going up and down quite a bit. But now we've started to see a bit of a trend, and that normally comes from these being ticked. Mindset, stress, body is just in a better place. So now we can start to see a bit more accuracy, okay? If we want to gain weight on this mission, okay, with a lot of our clients just want to gain pure muscle, don't have a lot of body fat, or we go into a bulk, this is the plan. If we're gaining weight, we want to be looking to gain 0.5 to 1% of kg body weight per week. So usually it's going to be 0.3 to 0.6 kg on the scales. From maintenance, if we're not gaining, we're going to decrease that cardio first of all. If we're still not gaining weight from decreasing cardio and eating at maintenance and training hard, 25 to 50 gram of carb increase. Start with the pre-workout meal to get more energy in the body, and then into meal one as the weeks go on as well, just as an easier place to get more food in. Ensure the 3 pillars are hit, so our images, our scales, our lifts all going up every week, and within 2 weeks of being on the low end of the 0.3 kg gain or a bit lower, then we'll just increase that food again by 25 to 50 gram of carb, depending on how much we can fit in, and we just keep going. You're always going to gain. You're in a surplus. Your body isn't special. There's going to be outside stress and stuff that we need to manage, of course, but 99% of the time we put this in the body, you adhere to it, you progress. Simple as that. I'm just holding you accountable to the simple things. It's nothing, no magic tricks. Maybe it might feel like magic tricks because there's things you might not know, but it's pretty simple stuff. So gaining weight and then losing weight is obviously the same. So from maintenance, if we're not losing enough, let's increase that cardio. If we're still not losing enough, let's pull out 25 to 50 grams of carbs. And if we're losing 0.5 to 1.5% of kg body weight, so if you're 80 kg, 0.4 to 1 kilo ish, or sorry, 1.4, 1.2 kilos it'll be. Don't know why that I struggled so much, but yeah, 0.5 to 1.5% of kg body weight, so whatever yours is. Now, if you're moving slow, you can assess why. You can sit there and agree, right, do we want to make a change? We're losing 0.4 per week, that's 0.5%. I want to get this up a little bit. Okay, let's pull out some calories. Now, the trick is here, though, guys, is you don't want to be making adjustments to calories on a weekly basis. You kind of want to be doing them bi-weekly, and you never want to make adjustments to calories for the sake of it. The amount of times I'll sit there with a client and be like, right, 4th week in a row, keep it the same. And I completely appreciate it can get boring. You start to think, why am I here? But there'll be 1 week where it comes out, okay, we got to make some big changes here. Things have stalled, and you just never really know it. So that is the system we use, and you can use now to get into the 30-day sprint of getting started, take it to the next level, getting into the gym again, not letting energy and work dictate your life. But then we get into momentum, get into motivation, and then we're ready to make a change straight away. So initial consultation form, get the mindset standards, get the adherence, work through the videos, understand the mindset standards, get the communication going, get the training clips in, start to track your body weight, so all things you can kind of translate into your own mission if you're not working with me. Momentum and motivation now is going to come from 2 things. We need results and we need lifestyle change within 30 days. So we're going to mentally tick some boxes. We're going to physically see some results. We're going to get the scales in the right direction. We're going to feel stronger day to day. The skin is going to feel cleaner and the comments from others are going to kick in. Within 30 days from there, if you haven't completed those, go back to start and do it again. Keep trying. If you hit mindset and adherence standards, communication, checking in, daily check-ins. So if you just tracking some data will be spot on. Training plan, you understand what the plan is and why we're doing it. We're tracking our weights, we're progressing. Meal plan is sorted. The scale's going in the right direction. If we want to lose body fat, we're doing 0.5 to 1.5% of kg body weight per week. If it's gaining, it's 0.5 to 1%. If we're not gaining, increase food, decrease cardio, ensure that your 3 pillars of images, scales, and lifts are all going up every 2 weeks. Review, make adjustments. Same with losing weight. Very simple, very effective, but quite complicated to implement. So if you need any support with this at all, feel free to drop me a message. I know this wasn't like a sat at my desk, day in the life, funny reviewing lifts kind of video today, but it's a video I really just wanted to have on my page, so you can always look back. And I can also refer it to people as well, if anyone ever needs it in the DMs of, look, I'm trying to get going. Well, there you go, mate. It's a video. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Next week, we're going to get a bit more, again, back outside of the camera, so don't you worry. But looking at the dates, let's have a quick little look and get this up here. Okay, so let's have a look. What is the date right now? It's the 23rd. We go to Vegas in a couple of weeks from now, on like the 13th. So we're getting all those preps, we're getting ready for that, getting into some of those local gyms out there, and obviously, as I say, keep reiterating the point. Casinos. Also thought quite a funny one that'll be, go to Muscle Beach or just that kind of area on the beach and just go get involved in some basketball with some local people and probably get my fucking head kicked in. So look forward to seeing that as well. And I'll see you there.